Fields of Fire from Big Country, whose first album, The Crossing, is released this week. It's yet another success for Steve Lillywhite, whose recent production credits have included Joan Armatrading, U2 and Marshall Crenshaw. And it's yet another sign that that much maligned instrument, the electric guitar, is creeping back into fashion. The band are as distinctively Scottish as U2 are Irish, so presumably the Scots at least will like them. Douglas?
Yeah, I've listened to the album quite a lot, and it does make me feel homesick. It's got that... The word to describe the album is ethnic, or if folk rock wasn't an out-of-date term now, I would have used that. But it's an interesting comparison to see that Steve Lillywhite also produced U2, and the two bands, I think, are paralleled in that they reflect their folklore. You know, the Big Country reflect the Scottish folklore, and U2 reflect the Irish side of it. And it does come across as a very, very Scottish-sounding album. I mean, even to the extent that, as you said, they used the guitars in a slightly detuned mode, which they say is just a harmonizer effect.
Did a very good bagpipe effect there.
Yeah, well, bagpipes like are the only instrument in the world that can't be played with any other instrument. That's why, like, Beethoven didn't write a bagpipe concerto. But the guitar sound is slightly detuned, which gives it the bagpipe effect, so you immediately think of Scotland.
And he's bravely passionate as well. I mean, the Raincoat Brigade won't like it at all, presumably.
As somebody in the Melody Maker said the other day, they should have called it Culloden instead of...
John, do you approve of the new triumphant guitar band's doing in the tinkling synthesizers? Is it not as much as that?
Well, I think the album is a very strong album throughout, actually. I'm usually sceptical of bands like this produce two very good singles, and often enough the first album is very weak. You know, they've obviously picked two of the strongest songs, but this album is very strong throughout. The only worry is I always seem to compare them with Dire Straits, not obviously in musical.
But a bit more gutsy.
But not in musical sense, but style-wise, will the next album sound like an outtake from the first album, as in Dire Straits' case? You know, they've got a very good formula at the moment, but used too much can just destroy the band. As I think Dire Straits have deteriorated because you keep hearing the same sound. I just hope Big Country keep producing fresh material.
By the end of the album, that sort of...
Well, that's right. You know, it's fine for one album, but it could get a bit boring if the next album was using the same formula yet again, you know.
Trevor, I happen to know you're about to write about it in your column next Sunday. What are you going to say?
Hopefully roughly the same sort of thing that you'll be saying in your column tomorrow. I think that one of the interesting things is not merely that Stuart Adamson can play the guitar like the bagpipes, which is impressive enough, especially when you're playing those great triumphant swaggering melodies that he plays, but his lyrics complement all that.
Can you understand them?
No.
They're very vague. I mean,
they're very
carried along
gothic,
by them, but do they actually mean anything?
They remind me of that kind of romantic revivalist verse that one was required to read at school. It's full of lines about, I'll carry you home while the westerlies blow. I'm not sure whether it means anything, but it sounds good, and it sounds like the perfect lyric to go with that kind of noise.
And that's enough?
I think it's quite inspiring, actually quite energising in a sort of vaguely Celtic way.
Almost Springsteen-esque.
We were actually talking about this earlier, that on some of the tracks the guy sounds like Bruce Springsteen. I mean, but who understands Bruce Springsteen's lyrics?
Thank you.